What up, what up? I'm your host, Vanessa, also known as Mizz Lowrider Princess.
What up, what up? This is Santanera. Get ready to ride.
Hola, yo soy Big Red Chula. You're rolling with the Culture Queens, and we riding low together. Vanessa, how did you start low riding?
It started with the gangster music, and it started with the gangster movies. You know, just growing up in that era.
Right,
you know,
right.
in the '90s. You had Snoop, you had Eazy-E, Too Short,
yes,
just out there, and
you watching MTV, BET,
and you know the crazy part is you see these beautiful girls and they're out there dancing, doing their thing, and I was like, man, that's dope. But I didn't want to be the girls. I wanted to be the rap stars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with the cars hopping.
Yeah, for sure. What about you?
Well, I also like the gangster scene. You know, the homies going down Bristol. Me growing up in Orange County and Santa Ana, like G-Bodies, and also the gangster music. You know, seeing Ice Cube. You know, seeing Snoop Dogg in them cars. You know, and it was just
it just sparked something in us.
Yeah, it was just part of the culture. You know, growing up.
It's definitely a spark. Yeah,
for sure.
Growing up in that, you know, like me in high school too. Like, we used to ditch school and all the lowriders and stuff, go smoke weed and, you know, with the homies.
You did all that?
In high school. You did high school? Back then.
I don't know about that. I didn't know we were going to be talking about that. I'm just kidding.
But you look at these cars and you're like, you know, these are beautiful cars. It just sparks something in you. So it's like, back in high school, I was like, I want one of these for me.
It was a very powerful thing. Like, in order to have those cars, I mean, like, for me, I know it's crazy because as women, we're not, like, really supposed to talk about it, but I felt like when you had these cars or whoever owned these cars, you had like some type of power.
Yeah.
You're like a superhero of some type. Maybe in the neighborhood or whatever, but that's how I seen it, and that's how I felt.
And respect.
Yeah,
you know,
for
it's a
sure.
respect thing.
Yeah. And it's still like that. You know, it's like we grow up and we want to be these rappers and we want to be these movie stars and shit, but fast forward, now the rappers trying to be like us. West Side!
Trying to borrow our cars for their videos.
She said it, not me.
We'll pull up, you know.
Yeah,
Look, get at us.
Yeah. That's, you know what? And that's
it happens like that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's such a lovely thing, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think most of us in the low riding scene, we were like that. We never wanted to be the passenger queens. We always wanted to be the ones driving the car, you know, because if you ask a lot of ladies, they kind of feel the same way. And that's how I was like, I don't want to have somebody drive me, you know what I mean? I want to.
Yeah, for sure. And that was like me. Like, I started in the 90s. I mean, I was into, like, you know, my growing up in the neighborhood, into my friends' families' cars, their brothers' cars, you know, riding around. But I mean, my first car, honestly, like, I didn't have the money. Well, it was just my dad. He was a single dad, and he was always gone. But later on in life, like, my life revolved around lowriding. And how I got my first car, it wasn't an actual lowrider, but I did so much to it where I was comfortable and I felt happy. It was a Nissan Altima. I had the rims powder coated. I had it pinstriped by Mike Lambertson. You know what I'm saying? And I still have that car in my backyard till this day, over 20 years later.
That's crazy that you still have that car.
I do.
Coming up.
You're about to fix that one up again.
Yeah, for sure. That car has history for sure. It's pretty dope, you know?
And I think most of us didn't have cars, but we was in the scene, you know? There was always a street where you go cruising, like Orange County was Bristol, you know? And I used to have a little BW convertible, you know? That it was kind of like a little bucket, but we go and cruise and stuff, and we'll always be like, oh, I want that kind of car, you know? And that's where you start kind of like thinking like, oh, that's the kind of car I want, you know?
Yeah, that's dope though, you know? We could only afford what we could, and then later on, you know, that's how we just build, how can I say, our pockets, our manifestation, and, you know, just things in life. So what about you, Chula?
My first car was not till I got older, was the Monte Carlo. You know, I've always been, G-body. I'm a G-body girl. You know, I love all the lowriders, but like for me, for my personality, I just thought, you know, going to high school, like I seen the G-bodies and I fell in love with this car. And, you know, I dreamed about it, and like I can say my dream came true. Like I bought this car for myself.
And I see you riding in her all happy and stuff, and that makes me happy too.
Yeah.
And I always, and I tell the girls too, because I know you're like, oh, she's not painted yet, or
she has a lot of work, but she's come a long way.
And this is what I tell, you know, even guys, but women too. It's like, you know, when they have their cars primered and they don't have the interior. It's like ride it around.
Right.
Some people don't want to roll it, right? Like,
yeah, because they're embarrassed. But the
embarrassed.
thing is, let us see the process.
Right.
And let me be the example, because I roll my car everywhere I can.
Yeah, and
everywhere.
When
In
you're
the
a car
heat too.
person, you'll be able to be like, hey, that car's a beauty. I can't wait to see what she does with it. And then everybody sees the process. And if you're a car person, then you're gonna know
understand
You
it.
see
how
that
much,
potential.
the time, the money, the effort that you put into these cars. So I'm excited to see what your car.
Yeah,
it
me
might
too.
be
The
next
end
year,
result.
it might be next month, but you know what? It's a process. And
know.
as long as you're still rolling, that's all that
The
matters.
first thing that you wanted to do is put hydraulics on, huh? That was one of the
Yeah,
first things.
and some people were like, "Girl, you put hydraulics first instead of the paint job," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." Well, and I asked people for opinions and stuff. The OGs, the homies.
Yeah, but you're honestly supposed to do that anyways.
Yeah,
Why
and that's
slap
what they
paint
told
on
me.
it and they're gonna, you know
Right,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
So you're doing it right. You're doing
And
it
I
right.
saved up for a couple months, and then I went to the homie, Lewis. I was like, "Hey, I need the hydraulics." He's like, "I got you." So he put the hydraulics on it, and it just makes me happy. Just
Yeah,
It does.
definitely.
coming from like not owning a car with hydraulics and then just watching the guys, and it was just like I want to
Isn't
do
it
that.
fun though?
Yes, it is.
Do you feel like when you're just like at a light, you just want to hit the switch?
it.
Oh, I'm hitting
And
the switches
just
on
got-
it.
You're getting itchy
The
fingers.
old ladies, they're just looking at me like, "What
Oh,
are you doing?"
shit. She's
They're not
hitting
safe.
switches
They're
on
not
old
safe.
ladies.
It doesn't matter.
Everybody.
They're not safe? The old ladies are
no.
not safe?
They're like,
I charge up those batteries, and every time I go out, somebody, at the stoplight, you just start
Yeah.
messing with it, and you just see the look on people's faces. It just makes me happy.
And what about you?
well, mine doesn't have hydraulics. I'm trying, well.
It's all right because
That's-
when we're in your car, we can do this.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay,
That's it.
so all you gotta do is when we're at a light next time,
Right.
you can be like, ready? I'll be like,
Okay,
ready?
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's bounce.
We'll bounce. I'll jump up and down in the back because I'm short.
So I have a 63 Chevy C10 truck,
Ow.
which I call her La Fea.
She's
love
actually
C10.
beautiful.
She is very beautiful. We primed it with my brother. I done all the work in it. That one has been cut a little bit, and I am gonna put airbags on it. And I want to do so much. So it's in the process. So like she said, we love the process because you see her and I see pictures. I'm like, man, I just posted some pictures on my Instagram of how it was in my mom's front yard, and we was priming it. My mom's like, oh, you messed up my grass. We're like, let's fix her grass.
So,
you know what I mean?
So what made you decide to put airbags instead of hydraulics?
On La Fea, I just want her to drop and burn. You know what I mean? I want her to spark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so I
I
get what
love
you're gonna
the
do.
spark. I love
Yeah.
to see the car
Yeah,
spark.
Are you gonna do like color flames?
Probably so. Yeah.
Oh,
Something.
what color?
Not sure yet. I'm trying to figure out. So I'm gonna try to do the wood. I'm gonna try to do some art in the wood. I want to keep that very Chicano, very Raza. I want to put some murals. I want to do some prison things. So it's an idea. I don't want to really tell it all because
Yeah.
But
Keep it
and
a
then I have the
surprise.
75 El Dorado convertible, and that's I just love that car. Drop in the top and
Yeah,
just
she's beautiful. I tell you, every time I see your car, I want to go get a big ass fur coat and be a pimp in your car.
I love
You know
El
what I'm saying?
Dorado.
Every
Yeah.
time
get a
I
coat.
see her, I want to sing that song, Pimp Juice.
Yeah, we have to, that's
her
the pimp
car
part.
is the shit. It's dope. It's, and when you guys see it, you guys are gonna be like wanting to put on a fur jacket and sing that one song, Pimp Juice.
With the pimp hat.
Yeah,
And that's the reason I really got it, because Cadillac El Dorado is known to be a pimp car. You know what I mean? I got a little bit of pimp in me. You know what I mean? So we're gonna keep it pimping.
Are we gonna be pimping ain't you?
And we're gonna have our little can, and just roll. Yeah. So that one I'm gonna keep it as regular as it can. I want to keep it classy, but I love my cars, and
She's dope.
I'm thinking of a G body because I see you guys hopping and switching. I'm like,
It's fun.
I
contagious.
want to hit.
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
I
We'll
wanna-
help you look for one.
Yeah,
so
I wanna,
let's do it.
So
that way you
maybe.
can just smash out. Just
Yeah,
have it for play.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So.
get kicked out of because the cars are at my parents' house right now, so they're like, when are you taking your cars? Are you gonna like sell them? My mom's like, sell them. I'm
So
like,
has anybody ever asked you, because I know you're a solo rider, has anybody ever asked you like, hey, come join my club with the cars that you have? And and
yeah.
what's your
They have, but you know what? I like being a solo rider because I'm just not good with commitment, and I know that being in a car club takes a lot of commitment. You know what I mean?
so I will never date you.
Yeah,
ever.
I can never. I tell my husband
break
I
up with
could
us.
only commit to you like by tomorrow. I don't know what.
And I feel you because especially like when you're in the club and stuff like that. I'm in the club.
Yeah.
My bestie and I, we founded an all-female car club, and it's very beautiful, very I absolutely love it, and I get you, but the waking up at 4 a.m, the waking up at 5, being there on time,
cleaning your
setting
cars.
examples, just with just amongst the club, and it's harsh, but it's also rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I get you, and
I pull up. You see me.
And
I always say, I pull up. You're never going to see me pull up in the morning. Mama pull up the last 3 hours and kick it, have them, chill and help you guys or whatever. But I always pull up, but just on my own time.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
these
say
girls
that.
camp out the day before. They'll be there the day before.
At Alicia Park, how many days did you camp out?
And you know what? And that's another thing too, because like I've been a solo rider. I've done that thing, and it sucks, especially like when you don't have like just friends that are not into cars and stuff, and they get bored. Some of them are there for the plant emoji. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but and afterwards, it's just like not exciting to them. They're maybe not car girls, and like if something happens with the car, they're like quick to call Uber and bounce out.
Right.
And then when you have a sisterhood, like they know the ups and
takes.
downs with the cars, and they're gonna stick, beside you. And then not only that, it's like you can make a phone call, like there's an event, so you're really never riding solo.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, like it has its pros and it has its
Yeah,
cons. But
I love the whole sisterhood, but I also believe like it's scary when you're a solo rider and you start in the scene. And whoever is gonna join the scene, just come out. There's a lot of beautiful soul ladies, and a lot of people are gonna embrace you. And it's like me now. I just pull up and there's always somebody there I know. So come, chop it up.
So I met you in the scene.
Yeah.
Before you started your all-female car club, you were a solo rider, and I met you in the scene. And not only did I embrace you, you guys also embraced me.
Yeah.
And
you did.
that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, it's like a sisterhood within the whole lowrider community.
Yeah, for sure.
It is,
and what made you decide? Because from you being a solo rider to now starting your all-female female car club, which is pretty dope. That was like, honestly, we kind of knew.
Did you?
But especially
I wasn't sure about it.
And then with Lisa, and
Lisa was my push. Lisa's, she's my sis, and we've been, doing life together. We work together.
You
we
guys
met
were
there.
in prison?
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
It was in Las Colinas. No wonder I see you there.
Single moms, we like kind of like,
like
backed each other up. We were always there for each other, and we had like this dream about, before we got our lowriders, before she got her Impala, and we were just like, we want our lowriders, and we're gonna be old ladies still cruising our car. And my dream was, I'm gonna be cruising down Palm Springs, downtown Palm Canyon, be an old lady and just, go to brunch and then go home, and she just like kept on with the, we need like the sisterhood, and it was just me and her, and we'd pull up everywhere, and, she really pushed me to the whole, car club. And since I'm a natural leader, so she's like, you're the president. I was like, okay, she's the vice president. And like we just started this in March. We just came out, at my car show.
And your car show was amazing.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun.
Oh, me too.
Honestly,
with the mariachi dancing.
Yeah, that was something totally new with the mariachi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that you're big into culture and all that. So that was so awesome to have the mariachi there and the shots.
They have to be there.
Yeah.
Yes. The next one's gonna be even more dope, in March. But
and
I always
be there.
Huh? You guys are gonna be there? Hell yeah! I got the lady lane. I just started that lady lane for that car show. But the mariachi is just big on my culture. Yes. Coming from parents, straight out of Mexico. Like I didn't know English. I had to learn English, and a lot of people don't know that. And just like sticking to this in the lowrider culture to me is just like it embraces more of our culture, because I've seen cars that like represented their grandpa, their wife that passed away, the people in prison, like different types of culture.
And that's pretty dope. Like the culture, you had that, and I had a little bit of that, but mine was like the West Coast, the rap.
Definitely.
That was, the gangster, that was my era. That was kind of, I grew up on the streets, so all this, the drug dealers and all that, like those were my idols. I mean, not now, you know what I'm saying? Not now, but those were my idols, because in order, like that's what you thought, know, because you're like, wow, dang, I can't have one of these cars, or I can't get money, or I can't get this badass Heina because I'm not a rapper or I'm not a movie star and stuff like that. But later on in life, you get to see that when you start manifesting and you're a good person and you work hard for your shit, the come up is real.
Yeah, yeah.
The come up,
and
for
that's
sure.
very blessed. And there's nothing wrong with the gangsters, and because a lot of my mentors were that, you know what I mean.
For sure.
And back in the day, we had a lot of our mentors that were gangsters that told you not to be a gangster, told you like go to school, that gave you good advice, that
Get a
cared,
good
you know what I
job.
mean?
Because they've been through some shit.
Exactly. So, you know, I mean, they did their thing, whatever, but to me, a lot of those mentors were mentors, and they did, you know, show me better, you know, and, you know, I'm grateful for that.
So what does the culture mean to you? What does that mean?
Well, the culture is just
Because I know you gave me some of yours, and you gave me, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
But that's what you call culture, because
Yeah.
it's a mix of everything.
Definitely. And
You
that's
know?
exactly what it is. It's just embracing the whole raza, you know. We're a whole culture. Even though we call ourselves the Chicano culture, it's just a whole blend of cultures that we're here in the West Coast, because this is where we grew
Well, look
up,
at the
you know
West
what I
Coast
mean?
rap with the Mexican music.
Yeah,
You know,
Oh, that's
you know,
It's
we be bumping the
happening now.
Tigres del
What about
Norte.
Snoop Dogg?
That's totally
You know?
What about that
happening.
Snoop Dogg song?
Yeah.
That's pretty gangster. Snoop
See,
Dogg, where
so
you
it's all
at?
mixed
Yeah.
in together. It's not just Chicanos, you know. So it's
so
a whole
much more
culture on
now.
its own,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's-
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. That's
Yeah.
pretty dope, though.
Yeah. And
You know
it's-
that we are now like
working together.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why I like that mix of the oldies, the old school, the West Coast, the mariachi, you know, the corridos,
Yeah,
you know.
oh, yeah, we love corridos.
Say
It's
that
gonna
again.
happen.
Say it again.
Corridos.
Ay, no me
You
digas.
like the
Just kidding. I just want to say that. I wanted to speak that in there.
start yelling the grito. Hey. I can't do
know.
that one.
I mean, you know, I love corridos.
But it is a culture, you know, for all
it
of
is a
us.
culture, and the culture is pretty
It's
badass.
And then what
you know?
about La Raza? What's the meaning?
So la raza is our people. You know what I mean? That's what la raza is. That's power to the raza. You know, and power to all razas. Embrace your own raza. You know what I mean? We embrace everybody. I think if we all stick together, we'll be so much better. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, back in the day, we were always looked down on. We were always looked down as gangsters, thugs, drug dealers.
Up to
We're
no
low,
good.
but you know what?
Cholos.
I see now, and it's pretty dope. And I love that when I see La Raza buying their house and buying a new whip that they want, and even taking that
Senators.
vacation, And I'm like, dang, look at my Raza. They're over there in Spain.
Yeah.
They're over there in Greece.
In Paris.
They just bought a
Exactly.
house.
Yeah.
They just bought a boat. You know what
That's
I'm
so
saying?
awesome.
Like,
'cause, yeah, we
that's-
didn't have that before.
no, we didn't. And I'm glad that we get to see that, and we're embracing that. And, you know, especially like politician, they're La Raza.
Definitely. Shout out to all of them doing good, you know, for the raza.
Representing.
You know?
Yeah, we're here. We're definitely here. You know, it's our time, and you know, I think we're here. We're finally getting the respect that we needed. You know what I mean? Because we do afford to this country and the communities. You know, especially us, the lowrider community. I think we do so much good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
everybody.
we grew up rough. We grew up tough, but definitely, you know, to set a positive example, that's what we need.
Yeah.
And keep
Definitely.
setting it moving forward, you know. And that's why we're here today.
But I'm still gonna listen to my gangster rap. All right?
Me too.
So what was your first car?
Yours.
Oh,
The first lowrider.
The Nissan Altima.
Oh, but your first lowrider.
Lowrider.
Oh, the 63, a rag 63.
Wow.
Yes, and it was done. If you're an OG, then you would know what B&B Classics. So they built them, but I don't know if I haven't seen them around for a minute.
So you've been around for a minute in the
I
scene.
have. I was already traveling the world before 18, going to car shows. I've been to Japan a few times, which is
That's
pretty
dope.
interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
I was young. I got to see the culture over there. And what tripped me out is when I went to Japan, I mean, everybody's talking about it now, but I was like, man, I was there like over 20 years
Right.
ago. And you know how they dress cholo and, you know, all
They
that.
like our culture over there.
Yeah,
They
they
follow
do.
all
Yeah.
the trend, the Nike Cortezes,
and
the
I
Charlie
thought-
Browns.
And I thought that was dope. And they do it with class.
Yes,
And they
respect.
they have style, most
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And I thought that was cool. I remember when I went shopping in Japan, I went into a little boutique and they were bumping Snoop Dogg. And I was like, oh shit. And I was in there and then all of a sudden all the cuss words and I was like, oh shit. I was like, they even putting the cuss words on here. So it was pretty. They don't
censored.
know,
Yeah.
but I did.
Yeah.
You know, I knew what Snoop Dogg was saying. But it was pretty fun, and it's cool.
That's
and
cool.
I've been to Texas, Miami, even TJ. So the car shows in Tijuana, different cities, different states. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's definitely the lowriding scene is just expanding. You know what I mean? They have like this big show in Mexico City. You know what I mean? And you know, like you said, Japan.
Even in Guadalajara, I found out they had
Yeah,
like a big
they do.
cruise out there and car shows. And I was like surprised because I had never heard that Guadalajara, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's happening.
sure.
We're getting,
Everywhere.
yeah.
So what do you think about the Chicana movement?
Like I said, I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you guys going to school, getting your education, and really coming up as a culture, seeing you guys do good. You know, I'm very proud of the Chicanos. You know, it's a movement, and, you know, it's, like I said, we was held down. There was a whole movement back in the 60s, 70s, you know, the Pachuco, the suit riots, all that, and now it's like we're here, you know, we have finally arrived, we have finally, you know, our kids could see somebody in office and see, like, I could be that, or I could be a nurse. We don't just have to be house cleaners, you know, or nothing wrong with that, because, you know, people that are smart, they're going to get their money regardless of whatever you are, you know. Mm-hmm. But we are definitely here, and we're fighting back, and we're trying to be righteous, you know. There's a lot of righteous people trying to do what's right.
And I feel like there's more unity now, you know,
Yeah.
even with social media, it like gives us more power to get together. And it's like, if you didn't know that there was this going on, or, you know, this movement in LA, then you could get online and look it up and then go and support.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
that's how I, you know, saw this like, you know, volunteer work for women empowering. I'm like, all the way in Ontario, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go.
let's go.
I didn't even know the girls, and I just volunteered.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And how was that for you? Like just showing up and what?
and you guys went there too.
I
I
know,
didn't
we
even
were
know they
there.
were gonna be there. I started parking cars, helping them, and I was like, these are my girls, Lady Lowriders.
That was a crazy day because we went from one event
Two
to
events.
another event, and it was a crazy day from being broken down on the freeway. But that's just part of you know, the
that
life.
is
they
part
made
of
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It was really touching, you know, to see these women like all sticking together and like, you know, trying to help each other out. And it's like something positive, giving back to the community, giving back to the prisons, to Skid Row, like, and it's just, you know, based on volunteer. Like, you're not getting paid for none of this. And all these women donating clothes, makeup, lotions, you know, and it's just like, I just wanted to be a part of it because it was just, you know, it's our raza too,
And
you know, it's our
hard.
women, and
Exactly.
it's, you know, it was just very humbling and heartwarming to see, you know, everybody come together and help. So it's just like the raza, you know, it's like you coming together. You wouldn't know if it wasn't social media on there, you know.
Yeah, social media has been a lot of part, even of how we met. We met through social media, and then we finally at the dinner dance that you guys have. That's when I finally met you.
I love it, and I was, you know what? Till this day, that warms my heart because you came all the way out there. You came. You're like, hey, I'm here to support you. I love what you guys are doing, and I was like, man, that's amazing. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you should support who you and you guys are always doing good things. You know what I mean? And I just love, and I think we all just love doing that. That's part of something we really enjoy.
It's in our heart.
It fulfills our heart, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
This is more than just low riding. It's our culture. It's you know, giving back to the community, setting a good example. So
yeah, and we do, and we have to stick together, and that's what, you know, we're doing. Like when we went to Angie, she had that bear drive. Man, it was a really touchy story.
Yeah,
you know, about why she did it, and we could get into that like on another time too. But that like touched my heart because it's kind of similar, like how I grew up and how those teddy bears mean to her, and how they were gonna mean to other, you know, the children and stuff. So.
Yeah, there's so many. You know, it's been quite a ride meeting so many different women, so many just different people, you know, their stories, how people could just tell you, hey, you know, you inspire me, and you're like, wow, I'm just being me, you know what I mean? Like, so, but it's here, you know. I would say, like, to our young girl, like, it doesn't matter. I'm here. If you're at an event and you feel like something's not right, you could always come to us. Don't be scared,
sure.
you know. Don't be scared. Come, tell us, hey, this is what's going on, and, you know, we'll be there, you know. Just, we gotta empower women, most definitely, and our men too, you know what I mean?
all of the solo riders too, like come out just because we're a club or we're here. Like bring out the cars, and I always encourage them to bring it out however it rolls. If it drives,
even if it has 3 rims, just bring it out.
Exactly. Remember, my hubcap fell. We went to an event to the Selena.
Yeah.
And it was raining, and I was like, oh my god, But I was like, hey, I'm gonna take it out like that. We don't care.
These cars are gonna be missing body parts and stuff, I know one of my club sisters. She was driving, and a whole panel came off.
Oh man!
It took her almost like a month or 3 weeks to find it.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't find it. She had to find it online.
Online,
She didn't go back looking for it.
And it's so hard to find pieces. You know what I mean?
It is.
The hubcap took me a minute because they wanted for like $350 for one hubcap.
I had to hide my Cadillac just in case she came creepy and tried to pull mine off. I was like, let me just hide my car real fast.
Hit it a little bit.
I feel like the prices have gone up for parts and for cars recently because it's starting to grow even more than before.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I've seen the price increase.
You can't get no car less than if you get lucky, 7,000. But from there it's up. I'm like, damn, because I was lucky. I was like, oh, I kind of want a G-body
right now, but
and a project car. I got lucky when I bought two. So and it wasn't that long ago, but.
Well, we're very lucky to be here, and we love it. This is a show. Welcome to our show. We're going to get into all the nitty-gritty of the low riding scene and the good and the bad, the ugly, and, we're just going to tell it how it is.
Sounded like she's about to rap a song right now.
Yeah. The nitty-gritty.
Hold
you know what? I'll do a corrido, bro. I'll do a corrido. Yeah, I'll do a corrido.
Okay, go for it.
No, I mean, I can't.
I thought you were
off the top. But, I won't rap, but I want to do a corrido.
I was waiting for it. Did you hear that? I was like, okay. I was like, all right. I was like, she's trying to drop it out
for you, girl. We're ready.
Yeah.
So, and then you said about the zoot suit. I know that you just went to a zoot suit.
The zoot suit riot, right?
So we went, and that was pretty cool. The cops, the mortar cops were so cool. They actually opened up the way. So
Did they have furry handcuffs?
You know what? They kept on doing the little horn thing, and I was like, I was telling Star, are they pulling me over? Are they pulling me over? I was like, and she was like, and I actually thought it was pulling me over, but that was just really messing with us. And Star was in the car, and Elsa was in the car. She was recording, but they actually opened up the way so we could record the whole thing.
And that's dope because some popos, they won't do that. They just stand, ground. But honestly, it's awesome that these the huras, they're working with us too.
Right. Yeah, they are. A lot of them are, and the ones that are not, I really want to address them and want to say, like, you guys, we want to work with you guys. We want to work where. Let us know how the community could work with you guys, because we want to be able to cruise in peace, and there's a lot of that, there's a lot, the cruising ban got lifted, but there's still a lot of issues that are happening.
What issues do you feel that are still happening?
So that night,
they're still towing cars and stuff.
Yeah, they're still towing cars. So that night, everybody was at Whittier, and we was all just hanging out. Nobody was really doing nothing dramatic. Nobody was getting out of line. And at some point, they came in and they just put their sirens, whatever. And, the people's tired. That's that same week that they painted the Montebello, the red sign.
Because that's where everybody parked. They park around the whole park. And then when I seen that too, I'm like, what is going on
And there was no permits. From my understanding, it was just like they did it and that was it. So it's like, of course we're going to get mad, because it's like now you're just targeting us. Like you're... and talk to us. Like, what do you want from us? You know what I mean? Yeah. We're cool. We all have jobs. We all, parents, grandparents. We don't want the crime. You know what I mean? We're not there for that. So
this ain't the 80s no more. We're trying to put positivity into the community.
We pay taxes.
Not that I was rolling around in the 80s, because I was a baby. Born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. But I heard them stories in the 80s with the Lolos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it, but we're trying to change the whole scene, make it positivity, and just keep it rolling,
Exactly. That's all we are there for, to have a good time. We're not there. And, I always say, if you tell us and talk to us, then we'll check our own. You know what I mean? We'll tell them, hey, 9:30, let's roll. It's time to go.
You know who has a lot of info on this? And I want you to meet her. Lane.
Oh, yeah. Lenny. Shout out to Lenny Vibes.
Yeah, she's dope. Yeah. And she's definitely, we're going to have to invite her. She'll be here for
Well, we
our
should invite her
next
for our
episode.
next episode.
Yeah, for
let's
sure.
invite
I
her
can't
over.
wait to meet her. I've seen some of her videos.
She's dope. She
and-
doesn't stop. She's always on the
She's
go.
a strong
and-
woman.
Yeah, and she's
I
so
love
like
that.
she's so right on point. You know what I mean? She did the whole cruise inside a crime. So yeah, let's definitely invite her over. Have a chat with her.
We could pick her brain.
Lenny,
You know.
you're up for the challenge.
Lenny, where
Let's
are
go.
you? Come on to the next episode. We would love to have you, and we want to pick your brain and ask
We
you
got
questions.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
it's pretty dope what you're doing for the community. You guys got to meet her. So stay tuned and
So I did want to ask you, who was you guys' influence to lowride besides the whole
The
rap,
homies?
the homies?
Well, like I said, like it was in the night back in the day. I have to say it was the 90s. It was the gangster rap. It was the movies. But fast forward now, it was crazy because so at the time there's this guy named Lewis who's now my husband. And at the time,
Shout out to Lewis. What's
Yeah,
up,
To
Lewis?
Mr. Lewis.
and I gotta tell you, and it's crazy because when I met him, and I hope he don't get mad at me, because he's a private person, but like he was a street chemist, the same shit. Like it was crazy because that's what I was involved with. Is, the hood, the drugs, the homies, the cars, the gangs. And later on, he stopped, he put that shit down. That's how I met him. And he got his shit together, and became a successful businessman. And he was, doing well and stuff. And it's like crazy because everything that he worked hard for and everything, it had nothing to do with what he did in the streets.
Yeah.
So now he's my inspiration. And it's crazy, and I want to be like, it's like I want to be like him. I feel like I am the female version. He hustles, I go and hustles,
And that's what
That's
Raza, you turn it around. You turn the negative into positive, and it's such a lovely thing.
Yeah, for sure. And it didn't make him a bad person. What he did was bad, yeah, but we got our shit together.
Yeah.
We really did, And I have to tell you about one of his cars, and we're going to do that another episode because that's dope. That's my idea. Well, it was his first, but now I got it from him. So, but yeah, so most definitely it was that 90s era. And then now it's...
And you're one of the person that has some pretty badass rides, right?
Thank you.
You do. I mean, I remember that Lady Lowrider edition. Is that what you name?
Yeah.
What was the name of that? Hold on. Heartbreaker.
Nope.
It's like a Tina Marie song, isn't it? It's like,
Yes. The name of my car. Boxer Dropper. The name of Boxer Dropper.
I'm a which car?
No.
I know you got a couple.
I'm talking about the
Lover
blue
Girl.
one. Lover Girl, Tina Marie.
Yeah.
Tina Marie.
I want to see
remember.
Girls in the Hood come
Yeah,
out. That's my favorite
yeah.
color.
I can't wait till Girls in the Hood come out.
It's because I have so many names for different cars.
That's why I'm like, which car?
Yeah.
That one has two names.
No,
so,
that
yeah.
one, she don't care. She hops her car. So it was six of us in the car, right? And I'm thinking she gonna break her car. She gonna break her car. She three-wheeling it. She's hopping it. She's like, there's a whole video on YouTube about it. And I'm like, man, like she was.
You know what?
She
I
goes for
have
it.
a funny story. So it always fucking happens. Like when I'm gonna take the car out, something happens to the fucking car, right? So I'm like, okay, there's the girls. They're from San Bernardino. Hazel, she wanted to use the car for a music video. I'm like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm over here like, I was like, okay, because it's a hopper, so I'm gonna have to trailer it. I can't take it to the Cajon Pass, and so about to put it on the trailer, but my dingy ass is like, and I'm in my robe, right? I'm in a robe with the little nightgown. And I was like, okay, let me play with it real fast. Playing with it, and all of a sudden I see sparks in the trunk.
Oh no.
And then my husband's like, oh my God, like again?
Here we
I
go.
said, here we go. I had to take off my robe. My nalgas are all hanging out, and I'm hitting the freaking
It's on
outside
fire?
of my front. Yes. And with my robe, I'm like, Yeah, so they had
Always
to,
something.
yeah. So
Oh,
it was
yes.
something, but at least it still looked good, and she was still able to three-wheel and all that good stuff for
that's
the music
cool.
video.
Yeah.
But that was just a funny.
It's always something with those cars
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
take them out.
It's
You're
scary
lucky.
when it goes on flames though. The Cadillac too, because I gotta always put starter fluid. So one day I put gas and I don't know what happened. So that thing kind of camouflage. I'm like, oh shit, what the, you know, and I had that fur thing and I'm like, I'm not going to do the fur. So I had to run inside my house, get a sweater that was
While
in my
it's on
couch
fire?
and then, you know, hit it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, you know, like,
Yeah.
but it's
well,
scary, but you know.
I was the neighbor's about to get a show today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Free show.
Yeah, bring your signature
You
with
know?
you. Buy one.
Yeah.
It's important. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So that was pretty dope, though.
That's cool. We love it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I
So
love it.
some adventures. I really didn't have like a influence on like low riding. Like I just grew up around cars and like a single mom that we had to do our own stuff. Like we grew up way up there in North Palm Springs with no running water. I only spoke Spanish, you know, watching my mom, you know, try and fix the cars, you know, whatever we had, like to get to school, to get to work. And it just growing up in that, you know, that environment, like our parents just thought you went to work, you worked hard, you took care of your family, and you go home. And I thought more of life, you know, like I want a better job, like I want to get out of this norm of, you know, I want to own cars, I want to own properties. And you know, I just started hustling just like my mom, 2 to 3 jobs, you know, bought my first house at 18, you know, and just went from there and just bought myself. So I didn't have to rely on anybody, and that was taught down from my mom that came straight from Mexico by herself at 16, you know, and made a life out here. And she brought all her brothers and sisters. Like we lived in a house, like you know, typical Mexican people, 15 people in a two-bedroom house. You know, and you'd be smacked if you spoke English right there. You know, like we grew up in our old, you know, beliefs. You know, you fell, you broke you something, and they just rub it out.
Aquí están Vicks and 7-Up.
Sana colita de rana. You know what I mean?
Putting the papas on your head and on your
we
feet.
talked about that hard.
Yeah. Take away the
There was no insurance like there is now. Like you fall, and, okay, let's go to the ER. No, over there it's like
put a little alcohol on it.
Go with Nana. She knows what to do. You know.
Jalale la pata.
They always had the paño ready, you know. Whatever they massaged out, as the paño goes around it, and you'll be better in 2 days.
Is that why
you know?
all these gangsters carry paños?
You know what? Maybe it's funny. It's funny that you say that because my mom always carries a rag, right?
Yeah.
And one day my daughter finger I closed the door on her finger, which was just a little tip, but she was crying. My mom had that rag and she tied it right away. And she was like,
I'm telling you.
And she's like, Mom, her
like
rag
magic.
saved me. Her rag saved. I was like, you know, but yeah, I don't know. Something about the paños with old people carrying paños.
They hold magic powers, like how the hoop earrings for us hold magic powers. The paños for the vatos, you know, they hold magic powers, right?
Yeah. So I think in that matter, I know that the paño sometimes was a prison thing, you know what I mean? So when it was hot, like in the prisons, they wet the paños. And they always put them behind, if you remember, like so. It
was it in prison? But I'm like,
you know how they carry it like that.
Yeah,
I heard something like that. I might be wrong, but if I believe I might be right. So it was to help them with the heat.
And it's funny how that comes from like back in the day with our parents, you know,
because they were working in the field, so they would have the paños wet in their neck. It cools you down. So.
I should ask my dad that question. Because I remember him telling me that he used to work in the cotton fields.
Yeah, and they asked him. Yeah,
asked him. Like, there were so many questions I wanted to ask him, but I just remember, like, he would tell me he was the only guy. My grandma had only one son and daughters, and he would tell me he would go pick cottons, like, you know, try to pay for the baby seats, the car seats, and you know all that for his sisters and stuff. So
I think it has to do. That's where it really comes from, you know, and then. So I don't know. I'm gonna get a paño pretty soon because this summer is hot.
Triple digits.
I'm surprised you usually have them.
I do always have a paño.
That's crazy.
I normally carry it in my, you know, but yeah. I forgot.
That's crazy.
So yeah, ladies. So this is it. This is us.
Yeah, just getting to know us and stuff. So like I said, you know, we're gonna have Lane Vibes next, and there's so much more to come.
Definitely stay tuned.
Definitely.